to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this off-shoulder peplum top, that like a wrap off-shoulder peplum top is what this is. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and draw out your pattern. As you can see, I've drawn out my pattern, and this is just your basic bodice pattern, but as I have my back panel, so all I did here is just how you draw your basic bodice. You put your tape, you measure the shoulder divided by 2, you place it here, come down here by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, connect it, insert your armhole divided by 2, mark it here, then your bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra like 1 inch of seam allowance, and then you come down here, divide your waist measurement by 4 plus extra 1 inch of darting. This is the back, hence why my dart is all the way up to the chest line. So this is my back panel, but this one here is going to be my front panel, and as you can see, I basically use this back panel here to draft the front. So let me turn it around so you can see. I use the back panel here to draft the front, so the two of them are exactly the same. So all I have to do now is just to open up my front panel, open it up this way. Let me notch the top part here so you guys will know this is the center of my front panel. So I'm just going to open it up here, and all you have to do now is just to connect where you want your, this is it here. I've gone ahead and put in my dart for the front line and also marked the center part here. So now for the back panel, we are going to start with the back panel. I've already, the person I'm making this for is an older person and they don't want it too low. And her bust measurement, because she's more on the bustier side, so her bust measurement is 45 inches. So what I'm going to do here is to come down. It depends on you, the length you want yours to be. So I want to do 4.5, so that when I'm done, I'm going to use this 5.5 for my lining. Except you're using bias, you can use this 0.5 also for your bias, so that when you're done you'll be left with 5 inches on the dot. So I'm just going to mark mine at 4.5 here. So as you can see, I ruled the line across here. So this is going to be the off shoulder part here, this line here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and this 4.5 we're using for the back. So guys, this is going to be the back of my top. And also, since this is going to be a peplum, sometimes if you're making it crop, you can just stop here and just use this here, but I don't like to have the back of my top too low when I'm making a crop top. So I'm sorry, when I'm making even a peplum. So what I like to do is to go back into the back there and subtract 1 inch from it and blend it into the end of the line. So I'm going to take away 1 inch from the back. It helps the peplum to balance out, or even if it's a zip that you're using at the back, it just helps it to relax better. So I'm going to remove that 1 inch here and then mark it, cut it out. So I've marked my line out here. I'm going to cut that out also. So this is all I have to do on my back panel. All I have to do now is to go ahead and trace out exactly this pattern on my fabric and then give it a dart. So all you have to do is remember to notch this here, and this here you're going to cut it on a fold. So this back here, this center part here is going to be on a fold. So now our back is done. So we'll go back now and do the front also. So for the front now, all you have to do is just to, the same 4 inches that you subtracted, I'm going to come down here. So the same 4.5 inches that we took away is what I'm going to take away from this front panel. So I'm going to mark it from the same tip of the shoulder here, because remember this here has 1 inch shoulder slope. So I can't mark it from this end. I'm just going to try to mark the line from here so that I can know where that is supposed to be. So it's supposed to be somewhere here. So I know it's at this point. So I'm going to just mark the line just so I know it's somewhere here. Because remember, there's a shoulder slope here. So if I go directly from this point here, it will bring it down further than the back. So that's why I went from the center, right? So now the next thing I have to do is just to go ahead and, so now I know where my 4.5 is. So what I have to do now is I'm going to mark a line going all the way across to this end here. Sorry. So guys, it also depends on you. If you want, you can go ahead and mark the length you want the depth of this to be. Maybe you want it to be 7 inches, you want to show some cleavage, or you want it to be at 6. You plan to wear a camisole underneath it. It depends on you how low you want it to be. Wherever you want it to be, you're going to go ahead and mark it. So let's say I want mine to be at 6 inches here. I'm just going to connect from this line now, go ahead to meet that 6 inches, and then I'm going to just try to blend it all the way down, because like I said, this person is more on the bustier part, and she told me ahead of time she doesn't want it low. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it all the way to the end here. So guys, you can already imagine, if you want yours lower, then you can come down even deeper like this. If you want it like the one on the thumbnail, like you have a small chest and you want it's lower. Not that if you have a big chest you can't make it lower, you can make it, can go both ways, but I'm just saying for this particular person, she doesn't want it that way. So that's why I made sure to keep the neckline high all the way to the end here. So now that I've done that, I'm going to just go ahead now and cut this out. So I'm going to follow this line that I made here and cut mine out. So guys, another thing is that if you want yours to be if you don't want to use up to 4 inches or 4.5 like I did, you can still keep yours high and it will look like it. You can convert it to off shoulder, and then you can also bring the sleeve of the sleeve up to your shoulder. Like you can reverse it from off shoulder to hang on top of your shoulder. All you have to do is just bring it up a little bit more. So instead of coming down by 4 inches, you can just come up here a little bit more, so that the neck this part here is higher. So just that's all you have to do. So at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, this is it here. So using this particular paper now, I'm going to go ahead and trace out 2 of it. So I'm going to trace out 2 of this and then 1 of this on a fold. But this one here, I'm going to trace it out facing this way. So that's what I'm going to do now. You can see I've gone ahead and cut out mine, and the lining I'm going to be using. See the pattern inside. I've also cut out the lining and the fabric itself. There are 2 pieces of the fabric here, and then there's also 2 pieces of the lining. And then for the back, you see, it's just 1 fold. The center here is folded. So the same thing is what I did for this one. So all I have to do now is just to go ahead, open this up and join it from the top. So I'm going to use 1/2 inch to join it at the top, flip it, and then use put in my darts. Do the same thing for the back and join the 2 sides together. And once I do that, the next thing you have to do is your sleeve. So guys, this is what I'm using for my sleeve. As you can see, it depends on you the length you want to use, but just remember that whatever length you're using, you're going to add your 1 inch of folding the edge here, the edge, and then you're going to add about, let's say, 3 inches, because of the type of puffy sleeve this is. You need extra inches added to the length, so that when you pull it up, you can have that puffiness. You can't use exactly the same length you want for the sleeve to be the, when you're cutting it, you can't use that. You need to add like extra 3 inches to it, so that you can have that puffiness. So so 1 inch for folding the edge plus the extra 3 inches, and then when you're cutting the top part, you have to fold it. I'm going to fold it this way with about 1.5, so that I can make the casing for my elastic, because remember, you need elastic to pass at this top part here. So I'm going to fold it here so that I can be able to attach my so that I can be able to add elastic, because this top part here, I'm going to fold it in this way so that I can pass my elastic. So the width I have here is basically, I'm using her armhole measurement. Her armhole is like 22 or so. So that's what I'm using here for the width here. Her armhole measurement divided by 2 on a fold plus 1. So I have about 12 inches here. I think that's enough for me. So basically, all you have to do now for the armhole part is just take it this way. Maybe I'll use the back panel to cut everything. So just take it this way, and then I'm going to fold away the casing. So this is what I'm using for the casing, and then remove about 1/2 inch for the top part. Remember, you're supposed to do this after you finished, right? But I'm just doing mine now. But you can do yours once you're done, and then you're going to mark out what you need to cut out here. So like trace out this armhole into this pattern. So you see, I moved it up to mark that 1/2 inch, because I folded this one down and moved this one up, because you're supposed to do this after you've used 1/2 inch to join the lining and the fabric. But since I've not done it and I'm trying to show you guys, I'm just going to pull it up. So mark your armhole. At this point now, you're going to cut this part out. This is going to be your armhole. I'm going to cut mine out now. So guys, once you've marked this here, so you see this is my armhole now. I'm going to fold this here, pass elastic into it. So the next thing you also have to do is once you're done, you're going to open this up. You take your elastic. So it depends on you. By then you must have folded this edge with 1 inch, right? You folded it with 1 inch. You place your elastic. It depends on you. If you want to have like 5 inches away from the edge, then you're just going to mark a straight line across this way. So guys, this is it here. I've marked 5.5 inches away. It depends on you how much you want the length of your flay to be. So whatever you want the length of that open flay part to be, I used 5.5. So I measured 5.5 from this edge here and all the way to the end, marked it in a straight line so that when I go to join it with my elastic, I will not make a mistake. So now you take your elastic and you're going to place it like this, and then you're going to sew it down. Follow that line and just take it to the sewing machine and just sew on top of this elastic all the way to the end. It will pull this together just like that. And then as you can see, I also made a casing for my elastic for the top part. So 2 elastics you need here, one at the bottom here that you're going to sew on top, and then one that will pass inside of this casing that will be attached to the shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead now and join everything together, and then we'll come back for the bottom peplum. This is it here. I've gone ahead and attached my peplum because I decided to use a pleat instead of a circle, but you can use a circle if you want. All you have to do is just to measure round the whole bottom of this here, including the including the wrap part of it here. Just measure round the whole end of this here, and then it depends on you how you want to cut your circle. If you're cutting a full circle, you fold into 4, divide by 6.28. If you're cutting half a circle, you fold into 2 and divide by 3.14. It depends on you. You can use a pleat. I just decided to use a pleat because a circle will take a lot of fabric. The one on the thumbnail is basically a circle, but I used a pleat because my fabric is small and is also transition. So I just wanted to have this pattern at the very end here. So I still have to iron it, and you can see you have to make your elastic here very tight so that it will help pull this edge here, because once if it's this is not tight, if you wear it, it will not be able to hold. So make this elastic like smaller so that it can be giving tension on this here so that it can help pull it. And then you can see my sleeve here. Like I said, just use your elastics to sew on top of it, you see. So that's how I was able to get this here, this puffiness. So that's basically it. I also attached a tie at the end of each of them. I just made this video to show you guys how to cut the top part of this here, so you can make it into a crop top, or you can add peplum to it, whatever type of peplum you want, a gathered peplum, circled peplum, or a pleated peplum. So thank you guys so much for your time, and please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.